Hi everyone, a big warm welcome to all of our viewers today. In today's episode of the Tarrakki Financial Literacy series, we'll be discussing emergency funds. My name is Soumya Shah and I'm the founder of the Tarrakki app. A big thank you to Mr. Arun Sundaresan for joining us today. Arun is a co-fund manager and head product management at Nippon India Asset Management Limited. He has over 18 years of experience in financial services, with the last 15 years with Nippon India Mutual Fund. In his current role, he primarily works on and is more involved in developing and promoting investor-friendly mutual fund products and features at Nippon. We are very glad to have you, Arun. Your expertise will help our viewers a lot today.
Thank you, Soumya. Pleasure, talking to your audience. Uh, Thanks for having me in the show.
We are glad you could be here. Excited, really excited. In today's topic, we'll be discussing about emergency funds. Saving for an emergency fund has generated a lot of interest amongst our users, especially due to the recent COVID pandemic. So it would be really helpful if you could explain to our viewers what is an emergency fund.
Sure, Soumya. So, as such, this is not a type of fund. It's not a standard terminology. It's a word that is used to denote the amount that you need to typically keep for any contingencies, the unforeseen expenses that could crop up at any point in time. So we do recommend that a portion be kept to meet such unforeseen expenses. So regardless of the fact that people could have insurance, health insurance, and so many other things, there can be a variety of reasons for which money could be required in a very short period of time. So therefore, they should have some kind of a fund. It's as good as keeping money under your pillow, but rather if you keep it in a bank or in a fund, as long as it is safe, at the same time it also gets you some kind of returns, you're better off than keeping it under your pillow. But essentially it is as good as keeping money under your pillow to be taken out at any point in time without the fear of losing your money, the capital part at all. So that's how I would put what emergency funds are.
Thank you. So why is it important? Why should one build an emergency fund? A lot of our users, इसकी ज़रूरत क्या है? इसका मैं करूँ क्या emergency fund का? Why is it so important?
So very obviously, life is quite uncertain. We're not talking about some kind of accidents or some kind of only medical emergencies coming through. Various other requirements also can come in a very unforeseen manner and in very short period of time. And you should have a good amount of money, and you should be able to kind of take that at any point in time without kind of worrying about losing your capital, or without getting into complications of how will I be able to get it and so on and so forth. Therefore, everybody needs to have a decent amount of money which they can dip in to meet any of these unforeseen circumstances which can crop up time to time. So it happens for everyone, and it's very, very critical that people keep that part of the money. This is typically not investment. It is as good as putting aside your money to be taken out at any point in time.
Sure. So how can our viewers build an emergency fund? How does the mathematics work? How much money should they have in their emergency fund? Is there an equation, or what would you recommend our viewers?
See, there is no hard and fast rule, and there is no thumb rule either, saying that it should be this and it should be that, and so on and so forth. But generally, I'm assuming that investors, the viewers, will have taken care of things like medical insurance and life insurance and so on and so forth. Apart from that, it will also be prudent to keep, and again, numbers are not sacrosanct, maybe something like at least 3 months of household expense in very, very liquid assets. And when I'm saying liquid assets, it could be in a savings bank account. Obviously, the rate of return there is very low. The biggest public sector bank today is offering something like 2.7% there. This is not about return, but more importantly, at any point in time, you should be able to take out your money. Alternatively, in mutual funds, you have certain categories of funds like overnight funds and liquid funds. So very low on risk. So typically they invest in very, very short-term instruments like certificate of deposits issued by banks, commercial papers issued by large corporates, etc. They can be considered to be relatively low on the risk part. The returns can be slightly better. So right now they're yielding anywhere between 325, 350 kind of returns. So one can also, apart from banks, consider these kind of funds to keep those contingency or emergency funds in.
Sure. Very recently, I was reading on your Nippon's website, you have a feature called an anytime money card, which I personally felt can be a very good way to save for an emergency fund while at the same time redeem my investments from an ATM. So could you highlight that aspect on what it is and why did you build such a feature at Nippon?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting feature. Now, as of now, we are the only asset management company who has this feature. In fact, I suppose this is the only asset management company in the whole of Asia to offer a feature like this. So on one hand, you keep your contingency emergency fund in liquid funds, which give you whatever return. Obviously, they are very liquid. So if you place a redemption today, you will be able to get the money tomorrow. T+1 is what we call. But we enhance the liquidity even further. So along with this, on an optional basis, if you want, we also give you a free anytime money card, as we call it, which actually allows you to use this money to withdraw. So against your mutual fund units, you can go to the ATM and withdraw money. And like any other ATM card, you can also use this money to spend in merchant outlets. So it's as good as saying that, like a bank account, you have a mutual fund account, and it is almost as liquid. Of course, you can't do things like writing a check against mutual funds and so on and so forth. But this aspect of liquidity, where instead of even T+1, you need it on an emergency basis, you can even go to the ATM to withdraw card, or you go to let's say a hospital to kind of use that card to spend, you can do that. So it kind of takes your liquidity several notches higher than what even liquid funds do.
Oh, that's great. That's a very good feature. In fact, I've been also using it and it has been very helpful. I've redeemed from bank ATMs. I also swiped it at merchant outlets. So absolutely. Just to quickly summarize, what we just discussed. So recommends that we should have at least 3 months of our household expenses as our emergency fund, and we could park this money in a liquid money market fund and at the same time avail liquidity through an anytime money card available at Nippon, which we could use at any ATMs or hospitals or for any other emergencies at any merchant outlets. So this has been a great session. I think our viewers will love listening to you, and this has been very insightful on why it is very necessary to have an emergency fund, especially in such times where we are just witnessing a massive pandemic all over the world. So thank you so much for your thoughts. It was a great time talking to you. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure as well. Thank you very much, Soumya. Thanks.
Thank you.